Good morning.
Good morning.
There are two of us in this video, and we're sitting on a staircase.
Yep. In Vancouver, downtown Vancouver. We're on an adventure together. So
Yay.
fun. And we've been talking a few times this week with
Yeah.
some of the things I'm dealing with for sure anyways. And sleep. So one thing that seems synonymous with parenting is hand in your number of Z's you used to get, because no longer will you know what the basking in a bed, sleeping is ever like again.
You're right. I'd read the study, seriously, that said, it was particularly around women, and it said that women get trained to sleep badly because of their kids. Like, that they actually tracked it, and I'm saying it really badly, but they tracked it. And what it is that because we're up in the night tending to kids, it actually affects our sleep patterns later in life.
I believe it. I really do.
I actually really, I think I know it.
And it's so interesting because we all kind of get a newborn baby. You have a baby, the baby's gonna be waking every hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is. And depending on your parenting style, you may be choosing to wake up all the time with your baby, have the baby in bed, go tend to whatever the baby needs. Some people will go and see, sleep trainers and sleep therapists and all kinds of things, and that's great. But it's almost expected that there's gonna be sleep issues for the parent during those infant years.
So right.
During those infant years.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't have an infant.
And
I have an 8-year-old.
And
I'm not getting sleep.
might be part of our slide.
Yeah. So it's not just in the infant years. There can be different phases of parenting. A child gets sick. A child gets sick, and it could be, he or she could be up all through the night, and usually a parent's attending with them, to comfort them or make sure they're not throwing up all in their bed or whatever it might be, whatever the attendance level might be needed. And also sometimes the children will go through development phases where...
That's definitely true in our house.
Yeah.
Where different times have different needs around nighttime.
Yeah. Absolutely. And even into the teen years, right? The sleep issues are a really big deal. Teenagers to regulate, and now in a day of technology and screens, and they want to stay up later to play different games or communicate or connect with people. And going off to bed can be this whole thing of fear of missing out. You just feel like you're not going to be part of it. And so they're keeping themselves up later and later and later. And then in the morning to get them up and going, especially for school kids, to get them up and out at that hour, sleep becomes quite a dynamic that parents and children of all ages, really right through to their adults, you deal with at some point or another.
And it's interesting because my kids went to school for the first time, and I have a teen who is definitely by inclination a night owl. How much sleep did I get? And it's really curious. She really had it really took something for her to start getting herself to bed on time so she could get up in time. And she has a really cool technique, and I think you might have a similar technique. But yeah, she has a really cool technique for managing. But now
I want to know what kind of technique.
You
can't just tell she's a technique and not tell us.
But what she does is she had set herself a timer to go to bed at night. She preps stuff so she has minimal stuff to do in the morning, right? But then she would come home and she would actually nap. because she can't actually sustain a whole day on the sleep that she has, right? Yeah, it's brilliant. And my other guy, like, it's really interesting. He's just started a program where he has to be somewhere, like in a work experience kind of thing. And he's the guy who used to talk really late in the night and to all his friends, you know, like, yeah, it's really fun watching him. And he just took it on over a 2-week period, gradually getting up earlier and earlier. Yeah, and now he's
Awesome
up.
for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you have that external thing that you're committed to, that
Yeah.
how it'll actually pull something like that
really,
forward.
It's
a whole new
interesting,
habit,
right?
even
And
at
it
those
wasn't
ages.
me pushing it either. That's what I find so fascinating. Hold on, we're at the screen here.
Come on, Helen.
And
Extend your arm.
Yeah, we need the screen. Anyway, I was worried about it going up our noses, just in case you're wondering.
I'm also conscious. One of the big
Anywho.
reasons, though, to bring up the sleep
Yes.
topic is it's like for every parent to get, like, there are different phases and ages of sleep
Love
issues
that.
that happen. But really the reason to bring this topic up is, like, in our society, in our way we kind of function,
Yeah.
we are, like, busy throughout the day. Like, there's
Yes.
things to get done. You're working,
Yes.
you're doing dinner, you're cleaning, you're fitting in your aerobics class, you're driving your
So
kids
true.
to their programs, you're
Mhm.
like, you know, your list is like endless of all the
Yes.
different things you're fitting in your day. And you know, you go and you sleep at night. And, you know, to rest or sleep during the day or put your feet up during the day seems so taboo. Like, it would be,
It really does,
like,
doesn't it?
aren't you then a lazy parent? Is like
Yeah.
what goes through my mind too.
Well, and my family of origin, my dad actually slept. He came home every day for lunch, and he would, like, have a power nap for 20 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes. He never went into deep sleep, and it had him, like, really set up. But for me, like, it seems like if I sleep during the day, I'm somehow slothful. You know, like, really.
I make myself really bad and wrong if, like, I am, like, resting in bed and, you know, the afternoon, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm that lazy mom out there or something
Are you
like
also
that.
eating bonbons and
Probably.
watching soap
I actually
operas?
probably am. You know? But it's like, for me, it's like, that is my sanity these days. It's like, you know, they tell parents of infants sleep when the baby's sleeping. And recently, like, my son, he did a night and day switch. He decided, and again, he's on the spectrum, and he doesn't really like to be around a lot of people and sensory things, lots of noises and people moving around and dynamics. And he really wants his independence to, like, he wants his house to be like our house to be his house. And so he did this total flip so that he would stay up all night long and have, like, the house to himself, and he would make himself his foods and do his kind of things, and then he would start sleeping during the day. And we tried all kinds of things to get him back on schedule, and he just wasn't having it. And but as a parent, you know, I just would go to sleep at night, but, like, you're not really fully asleep. Like, about every hour I'm up checking on him, making sure everything's standing, everything's safe, and having that, like, half sleep where your ears just really out listening for whatever could be. And so I have been exhausted. Like, I've really been living on, you know, 3-4 hours a night sleep, with my youngest being an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm back to, like, the babyhood days. And yet then, you know, you get up and I do all my things through the day, and I just, like, it wasn't working. Like, I couldn't.
It's not actually sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
And I'm surprised you didn't get sick. Like, honestly, you
Yeah.
know, because you're really burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah,
right?
and so then
Yeah.
it's like, you know what? No, I'm owning the siesta. I'm owning
Woohoo!
the siesta, and it's
So
like,
create it, because you did brilliantly.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, all of a sudden, honor your body, honor yourself. I'm tired, so it's like, go and tell all the kids or whoever's around, hey, mom is going down into her bedroom. The door's going to be shut. I'm going to be putting my feet up and resting. If you need anything that would classify as emergency, with some children, I then create what an emergency would be to make sure that we have the same definition of what an emergency is.
brilliant. Yeah.
And this is my time. I'm, like, going to go and rest and siesta, and it's getting into my bed, putting my feet up. I may sleep. Most of the time I'll go and probably sleep for about 20, 30, 40 minutes of the time. Sometimes I'm even just lying in bed and just having that, like, resting my eyes and just letting that downtime be.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, it makes such a difference.
Yeah.
It makes such a difference.
Well, you know, I created that very similarly. That if I knew, like, I had a commitment the night before that would keep me up late, and I had to get up the next morning, my deal with myself is that I get to put my feet up, right? And I don't actually sleep very often anymore. But, like, the act of, and it's actually interesting because I've enrolled our whole family in it. It's really funny. Adrian's like, okay, I'm really glad you're resting, right? So then I just go, and it's not even that I necessarily shut the door, but it's that I am, like, resting, my brain is resting, my legs are up, and it really does. It's like a power up is how I have the experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so refreshing. And it's like, I have to say, there's like almost like a delicious side effect that it's like, ooh, I'm being a rebel. I get to have the life where I'm putting my feet up and resting. Yeah. And it just gives you a little boost in even your step when you hop out of that bed. It's like, wow, I did that for myself. I did that for my family. You know, there's always that, you know, with airplanes, you know, you always put your own air mask on before you give it to your child beside you. And it's like, we really need to make sure as parents, our cups are filled up, that we're being nourished and replenished so that we can really be available for our children as they need things.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say, you know, it just depends on how your day looks, but it doesn't mean that you don't at the end of a work day, like literally put your feet up for 20 minutes so that you actually have transition time yourself. You know what I mean? Like
however your lifestyle works, right? Like the idea of this is like you get to have a say. You know, there's a societal norm of how things function and what we think we're supposed to do and should do. That word should that loves to like echo through our brains. It's like, no, break free. You know, you really can do anything. And if you need to go sleep with your child, if he's sleeping or she's sleeping in the afternoon, go do it. If they're not even sleeping and you set them up safely, like go put your feet up and like give yourself that hug and that rest. You deserve it.
Yeah. And it really, and I think too, like long term, like seriously, this is really heavy, but I think like long term, it's better for our health, we know that, but for our kids too, to actually have somebody who models how to actually look after themselves and get some rest, that's pretty, you know, pretty awesome. Yeah,
the skills you're teaching your children.
Yeah.
And hi, Sarah. She actually chimes in too that another benefit is really it eliminates resentment when you take time for yourself. And it's so true because often we as parents, like we can quickly get into like a martyring type of mindset. And
that's the word that I had coming up. You know, it's so easy. It's so easy to go to the martyr.
It's like, okay, I'm the parent, and okay, I stay up for you, and and it just builds up. It's just in the background, even if you don't even hear it. It can be in the background that you know our kids are somehow taking away our lives or taking something away from us. That's sleep.
And I mean, really, what you just pointed to is that what we really want our kids left. That somehow they, you know, are a cost to us. That's not what we want.
No, so it's like nourish yourself, replenish yourself, and like have that as a priority in your day. Yeah. And any kind of self-care habit, really. Like if it's not the own the siesta, which I've been loving to do, like any of those self-care things that just nourish and fill your cup. Yeah.
Brilliant.
A bubble bath. Hug yourself. Just like wrap your arms.
You're the best hugging. You are the best hugger of yourself I've ever met. Yeah. It's brilliant. Yeah. But really, I also had this thing like. I'm not doing it so much because it's things have changed, but in the morning I would actually select the happiest mug I had or the prettiest mug I had and make myself the best cup of tea and actually really enjoy it. But it was like a little ritual that I did every morning, right? Like literally that, like how do I look after myself to start off my day today, right?
I think that's our theme for the month.
Okay.
How do we look after ourselves to start our day or to have our day or to be in our day?
Yes.
All those self-care, all those kind of things that fill our cup and replenish and nourish ourselves.
And it might not always be something new, but it might be really noticing what you actually do. Like I just, you know, like I think we
acknowledging
it. We get really quick to, I need to change something. But like really look too, what are you actually putting in? Yeah. Brilliant. Okay.
Awesome.
Bye you guys.
Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday.
Mwah.